Hello and welcome to week 7 and 8. I cannot believe how fast our journey has gone, and this lecture today will cover both weeks for 7 and 8 because I wanted to touch on quite a few things to make sure that you're prepared and ready to complete this class successfully throughout the entire 6, 7, now 8 weeks. I've been speaking of you being successful, and we've identified where there's been some challenges. I've offered you opportunities to enhance or update some of your work to make sure that you're successful. But our ultimate goal in completing this journey together is for us all to end with a completion of this class and a successful grade. So that is my prayer and hope for you as we close out. So I wanted to provide this lecture and give you both weeks, give you the information you need to be successful, and then kind of set you free to go ahead and accomplish all those things that need to be handled prior to June 28th. So I'll talk a lot about week 7, but I do really quickly want to touch on week 8 will not have a full week. I know you're used to being Sunday or Monday through Sunday, but in this case, for week 8, your actual assignments all will be due by day 5, and that is that Friday before. So it's kind of nice because you get to go and celebrate that weekend because you're done and you're not stressed throughout that weekend. But you do have to adjust your schedule slightly to make sure that you're accommodating that earlier submittal date of day 5 on that Friday. No exceptions, because then it becomes my responsibility to make sure that I get everything graded and get your final grade ready and submitted by that Monday. So I really, really need you guys to be diligent in getting it in on that day 5, and not to give up, but just to be prepared beforehand and be ready for that. And so I thought, with moving into week 7, it was very fitting for our prayer of the week to be from Philippians 4:6. It's from the New King James Version. But to be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So often we get so consumed in life and what's going on, and the detriment of some of those things that are happening, and even in celebrating some of those great things that are happening, we forget to rely on God and say, either thank you as I go through this, but really kind of surfacing and putting on our armor from God and saying, I don't have to be anxious. I don't have to worry or be concerned about those things that are happening in my life, because I stop first and foremost and give all the glory to you for all that you do for me and how you lead and guide my ways, and that through thanksgiving and through faith and understanding and love, that I give all things to you, and I know that my requests are known to you, and that it's through your will of God that things will happen and play out in my life the way that they're supposed to. And so I hope that this prayer hits you well this week, and it gives you the love and the encouragement that you need to know that all things are possible through the love and grace of God. And we just have to keep our eye on Him, and He will guide us through this. So as we move through week 7 and completing week 8, we are going to be wonderful in our planning of time and organization, and making sure that we are hitting the mark with what is needed. So beginning with week 7, you'll need to read chapters 12 and 13 because you have a quiz. And so I have seen the struggle that you all have experienced through this course with your quizzes. And so let's just start out the gate on this one. We learn on the first one, the second time we try to adjust, and third time's the charm. And so I have updated your quizzes to allow for multiple attempts out the gate. You don't have to be anxious or concerned or stressed about trying to get it right the first time. You will have multiple attempts for those quizzes. Make sure you are diligently reading chapters 12 and 13. You will have a PowerPoint for 12 in week 7. There is not currently a PowerPoint for week 13. I didn't realize that till now. If I can get something put together for you within this next day or so, I will upload it. But I think by you just reading the chapters and really just kind of aligning with what we've been talking about over these last 6 weeks together, that you can do well with kind of identifying the at-risk population and the overall concept of case management. So I think you will be okay without the PowerPoint, but like I said, if I could slot some time out, it's pretty tight right now, but if I could slot some time out and get a PowerPoint together to upload for you, I will. Also, you have a journal that will be very, very helpful for you. You'll have journals to read and journal articles in actually week 6 and 7, or sorry, oh my gosh, I don't know where that came from. I apologize, week 7 and 8. So make sure you are allocating time not only to read chapters 12 and 13, and those are the last two chapters that you'll have to read for your textbook, but there are two additional journals. So there's a journal article in week 7. I found myself at this practicum student reflection on field education. It's really nice in how it's set up, and it really talks about that understanding of the field education and how valuable and important that is in being successful in that role of a case manager, and really how to have that assertiveness, not aggressiveness, but assertiveness and confidence in how you adjust things, and always being self-aware and how you can learn from those things and realign for those next situations that you have to face. So really good information. I encourage you to read and grow, and essentially probably can use pretty much within your critical assignment for your final for week 8. So great opportunities to use as resources. That did hit you guys, I think, a little bit for week 6 or week 5 with your submittals of your assessment. Overall, good stuff that I was seeing. I see that some of you really stepped out there and took a risk with kind of identifying some populations and clients that you could speak with and assess, and really kind of expressed what that felt like in your assessment. What I did see overall, and I think you guys just kind of got caught up in that self-awareness and experience of what you were going through throughout that whole process, but you forgot to relate it back to the research, and you forgot to incorporate all your readings and the things that you've learned and how that's helped you with that experience of going through that assessment. So if you felt that your grade was not what you would have liked it to have been in that assessment, feel free to update it, but I will definitely need all those updated versions no later than Wednesday of this week to give me time to get them graded and get the feedback back to you. So feel free, if you feel that your assessment was not good and the scoring as you would have liked, feel free to update it with my feedback, incorporating my feedback, and resubmit that, and I will regrade it as long as I have it by Wednesday of next week. So in addition, I did send an email. I'm not sure if you guys saw it because I haven't seen a lot of the quizzes for quiz 2 increase, but I did open that back up to multiple attempts. So if you have not done so already, feel free to go back if you choose to improve your score for that quiz. Overall, every score counts. So anything that you're doing to raise those grades in the end will pay off, because that will help in increasing your grade. And so I do want to talk just a little bit about week 7 and making sure that you have a clear understanding of what is needed for you in week 7. So in week 7 with the agenda, I've talked about reading chapters 12, the case manager's professional growth and development, as well as chapter 13, at-risk population and case management. I've already talked about the article that you need to read. There are 2 discussions, so you have 2 discussion boards this week. So you have to not only answer the question, but you also have to reply to your classmates. I've been seeing some good responses, so keep up the good work and keep it going for these last few weeks. So for week 7, the question for your discussion board 1 is, why is burnout an issue for case managers? Discuss how you plan to prevent burnout. And so this is something that comes up often, and is something that truly is a detriment to working in the field because we don't recognize it for what it is, and we don't allow ourselves opportunities to reflect and rejuvenate and then adjust and then go back to doing what we do best. We more so just kind of keep on that road of trying to get things done, and where we left off, we pick up that next day, or we pick up on that Monday, or sometimes the Fridays roll into Saturday, Sunday for, and you don't allow yourselves time for the weekends as working as case managers and trying to get all the work done. There's never enough time to get all the work done. So, really taking into consideration your chapter readings, these articles that you're reading, some of your experiences in your assessments, and really what does that feel like and what does that portray with and what brings about burnout and how can we go about preventing it. And then you will move into your discussion board number 2, and you're going to describe the ways in which you believe you could benefit from supervision. So when we talk about transitioning from that idea of what causes burnout, how you can prevent burnout, and then how can you really rely on the support of your supervisor and overall supervision, whether it's at the first level of supervision, management, executive, how all those things work together and benefit you overall from supervision and doing your job and doing it to the best of your ability. So just to touch a little bit on the rubric, I did use the rubric for your narrative from your assessments. I have not used the rubric so much for your discussion boards because I've given you more grace and been a little bit more lenient in how we do the grading. If I use the rubric, I think the scoring would have been probably a little bit lower, but I do it for your actual written paper. So keep that in mind as we move into week 8 and we begin to start working on the critical assignment for our final in submittal. And remember, your research project is one of the highest grades that you will be given for this course. All of your other grades have cumulatively added up to that overall grade. But when you talk about out the gate, one project that gives you the most amount of points, this is it. And so you have been asked to research and complete an actual project that's pertinent to issues in case management knowledge and skills. And so I want you to kind of do an analysis and a summary. Has to be minimum 3 pages. So I want 3 to 5, really no more than 5, because I have to read all that and make sure I'm giving you good feedback. And so I want to get you to get the gist of it in those 3 to 5 pages. But I want you to find a topic, and it can be any of these examples here, and this is in your syllabus. So please go back to your syllabus if you're not sure on the topic that you want to speak to for your research project as your critical assignment that's due. So client empowerment within the case management process, advocacy within the case management process, management care and case management, case managers as a service coordinator, and ethical and legal issues for effective case management. Or you can come up with your own topic. Feel free to do that as well. I would suggest if you are coming up with your own topic, just to make sure that you are on track and on task for what you need, I would suggest that you submit me or send me an email and just kind of run it by me and make sure that you're on track. Not that I don't think that you are capable of coming up with your own topic, but I don't want you to get too far in your research and not be able to hit the mark and get the grade that you deserve for your final. So wanted to spend some time for week 8 kind of guiding you now as you move into week 7. Don't wait for week 8 because that will come very quickly, and you still have discussion board items that you will have to do for week 8, as well as making sure that your critical assignment is done timely and readily available for submittal by day 5, which is that Friday, and that Friday is the 28th. So you will see here on your learning activities for the front page of week 8, it ends on June 28th. It does not end on June 30th. You have to submit all of your assignments and your critical assignment on day 5. So, your prayer for the week as we leave you in week 8, knowing that you have done great things and you have organized your time and really worked hard to be diligent in completing this class successfully. So I leave you as the Father loved me, and this is Jesus talking. I also have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you. It will remain in you, and that your joy may always be full. And I added a little bit in there, but I just want to encourage you to know that we control our own joy and know that not only has God put the joy in our hearts and Jesus has went before us and sacrificed so much for us to bring that joy, but twofold we have an abundance of joy that is given to us just by our love and faith in God and our belief for all that he has done for us. So know that your joy may be full just by that alone. And so I give you and remind you of the joy that you have and continue to bring to not only to yourself and your family, but your friends and your acquaintances and those that you interact with. And I encourage you to incorporate more joy as you move through these last few weeks of this class and know that we will end this with success and we will celebrate. I know for some of you, this is your last class, and how exciting it is to know that you have made it through all that has come before you and you have journeyed and been able to leap in bounds of completing all that needs to be done. And those, whether you're just starting, whether you are in the middle, or whether you are close to the end, I just encourage you to steadfast and keep your eyes on the prize because it will be here before you know it. And great things are coming your way, and that all your hard work and not being able to do all those things that you would like to do and having to have the discipline for your studies and your readings and your quizzes, just know that it will all pay off and great things are coming for you, and great things will be incorporated into your life, and that you will be a blessing to those that you encounter and those that you pay it forward for. And so as you finalize this course in week 8, I hope that is encouragement for you to know that all that you have learned throughout these last 8 weeks of us being together, that it doesn't stop here, and that you will continue to build upon all these great concepts and theories and applications and opportunities to practice that we have put into place, and that you will continue to carry those forward and allow yourself to continue to learn and grow. And so, did want to touch on that there is another article, and again, communication skill article, really good points covered for you to incorporate, not only applicable to probably your current job and position, but it could be helpful in your research project as well as takeaways for how you can apply some of those things real time. You also will have 2 discussion boards. Your last 2 discussions for our course is what is the definition of an at-risk population and what makes them currently at risk. And so when we talk about being able to really be aware and identify what that looks like, and then being able to keep an eye out, and how do we provide resources or streamline or bring the resources to the population once we identify what that looks like and what are some of those challenges that can be at risk. Moving into discussion board number 2, your last one of this class, please discuss the vulnerable, I can't talk right now, forgive me. Please discuss the vulnerabilities that you may encounter working with persons with low socioeconomic status. And so I really want you to reflect on that question and looking for not only your perspective, but your reading perspective, as well as any other research that you have that can support that question, and really looking for your feedback to your peers and what they have to say in regards to what they think those vulnerabilities are. Say that fast 3 times. And the encounters of working with them, because the more awareness we have and the more we talk about it and we bring it to our attention, the better we are able to be more comfortable with it, be able to have conversations, build rapport, identify resources out the gate. I've provided some of that feedback to some of you, that really having to, in this field of work, understand that there's quick identifiable ways to mitigate and identify resources readily available. And then you have your short-term resources and goals and planning, and then you have the long term. And so we're always in a state of mind that we're looking to how we can build rapport, trust, support, and bring those resources and one coordinated effort to work together, where the client doesn't feel that they are being pulled in too many directions, because we have to remember that they're going through those tyrannies in the moment, and they can't take too much at one time. So how can we better support them and bring peace to what their experiences are, and not more anxiety and anxiousness and anger and fear and frustration in trying to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. So really looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you in regards to those discussions. But I want to spend a little bit of time on your close out this lecture with your critical assignment. So again, talked about the topics that you have an opportunity to choose on your own. I do want to give a little bit of attention to the rubric. I will be using the rubric for your grading of this project. So whatever you do, once you pick your topics, make sure that you are doing the appropriate research, because when it comes to grading, I will be looking for these criterias. And as you can see, what identifies as exemplary, accomplished, developing, or beginning. And the points will be based off of what you provide in introduction, faith integration, and conclusion. So are all those 3 components covered? Analysis of case management, intervention of strategies. So you want to look at these components. Did you thoroughly discuss the various theories of human services? Were all theories included? Were examples provided? Was it clear and detailed? If not, then that's where you'll see your grading start to go, the points start to reduce. Then what research was included? Did you utilize the appropriate methods, interviews, community agency staffs, visits to areas and agencies? Really making sure that you're incorporating some of those strategies of how you got to your findings. It's not just research out of the book or a few articles. It's what are you doing? Are you getting out there? Are you really looking at these strategies? Are you talking to people? Are you visiting organizations and agencies that are doing it? Are you finding out ways that they can do it better? And are you bringing that all together in your research project and your paper to really bring home those concepts to get to your findings and your outcomes? And then are you using APA format? Make sure you're using your citings and your quotations throughout your paper. If not, I'm going to have to take points off in this final project. Remember, this is 200 points. You want to get the most points possible. So don't allow yourself to lose any points here, because this is something that you can greatly control and make sure is right on target. And then making sure that you're incorporating those references with your reference sheet, which includes the conclusion, and closing out with your references, that they are cited correctly. I've provided APA format samples within your learning activities for each week. And so make sure that you are using those resources to the best of your ability, and making sure that you are giving the time and attention that's needed to be successful. So again, this is your lecture for week 7 and 8. This is not the last time that you will hear from me. I hope to have opportunities for us to work together and learn together again in the future. I'm sure I will see again some of you in the classes that come. I'm doing capstone next, so hope to get a few of you in that class with me. But if you are graduating soon, please share that information with me. I would love to be there in the audience cheering you on and have an opportunity for us to meet face to face. But just know that it does not end here. I will always be Professor Trinka Bourne, Professor T, whatever you choose to call me, and reach out to me. Keep me updated, keep me encouraged of all the great things that you are doing in your life. I know some of you are pregnant right now. I wish you the best as you go into this new journey of being a new mom. And I wish all of you happy Father's Day, because we all serve in some way as a mentor or support to others. And so, hope you're enjoying your day today with your fathers and family. And take care. And I look forward to the next opportunity that we have to spend time together. I wish you God's love and peace, joy, love, and happiness. And I don't say goodbye, I say until next time. Take care.